Well, if I'm not talking, there's no point calling you, is there? You want me to call you right before I can't talk anymore, if I can judge that? Because that's the critical thing between us. If we're going to be on TV, I can't do it with sign language. So I guess that's the answer. If I lose my arms, it doesn't matter. I still can talk with you. My hands. Even if I can't. Well, it's very tricky. If I can't swallow, my nurse tells me the swallowing and the talking go together.
I know you've been thinking about it for a very long time, obviously, ever since you found out that you had ALS. But you told me when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you've confirmed it again today, that your arms have weakened, your hands have weakened.
Very much.
So it's no longer a theoretical proposition.
No way.
It's a real thing. It's
very real. I
beginning.
Cannot eat very easily now, and I expect in a week or two I may not be able to feed myself. And maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe it'll only be a month, but it's imminent. Let's put it that way.
Matter of weeks.
Right.
How has your thinking process on it changed as the contemplation of the inevitable comes closer now?
Well, I don't know how whether it has changed, because I think I told you before that I don't think you can think these things through. You have to experience them. You can think about what might happen, what you would like to do, and so on, but until the time actually arrives, you don't have the experience, and that's what makes the difference as to what I will do and how I'll do it. I undoubtedly will get depressed for a while. How long a while, I don't know, but that's my normal reaction. And then maybe 2 days or 3 days later, I'll start to bounce back. That's my resilience.
The last thing you and I talked about when I was here a few weeks ago was the means of your dying. And we whispered about it, and then I called you and said, is it okay if I use it on the program? This time we're not going to whisper. I'm just going to ask you, and if you don't want to answer, you won't answer.
I'll answer.
How do you feel about that now? How do you feel about this notion of, I'll call it the Kevorkian option of putting in the hands of someone else the ability to give you the chance to make that final decision? That's awkwardly put, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you mean. I've thought about this a lot, and I found out some information from my nurse that the hospice will come during your last days to make you comfortable.
So you can stay here.
I can stay here. And secondly, I've come to be aware of the fact that one of the qualities or the conditions and consequences of this illness is that your lungs will go. And unless you get a ventilator, you'll expire. And so I made a decision, tentatively, open to revision, that that's the way I would go.
That you would say no ventilator.
No ventilator.
Now, when you say I've made a decision, open to revision,
right.
I mean, Morrie, you're coming to a point where you got to make a decision while you still can, right? I mean, you want to wait until the last minute, the last sort of wink of the eye, the last raising of the eyebrow?
No, you didn't understand me. My lungs are going to go before then, because I have asthma, and my lungs are very vulnerable. So, as a matter of fact, my nurse told me again that the lungs and the swallowing and the speech all go around the same time.
So when we're talking about your loss of speech and your loss of the ability to swallow, what we've really been talking about is the end of Morrie.
Perhaps. I don't know if she has it all right. I assume she does. But if she's right, yes, that's the end. How much time there is between, I don't know. And I have to explore this with my neurologist. But it isn't tomorrow. I don't think it's next week, because I don't feel any problem now with my lungs. So indeed, it is within that range. And that gives me some comfort on the other hand, on one hand. On the other hand, I'm not in a hurry. When you're dead a long time. I'm not in a hurry. But I'm going to live as fully as I can while I'm here. As vitally as I can. And as lovingly as I can. So I think I feel much more at ease about this now. That it appears that it'll be this way, that I can take care of it at home, and that, you know, I'll go out and it'll be, I hope, with a degree of inner peace. And, you know, with some feeling I've lived a good life.